Welcome back. In this video, we will understand about transformation validation. So we can see from the table that source table, limit to 10 records. There is some problem. What is the problem? Let me check. It is select star from export underscore dot staging, customer dot details, limit to 10. Let me clear the screen. Let me check the data from the source, top 10 rows. So here you could see there is only one name column. So when you run in the target and see, you could see there is two columns. One is first name, one is last name. There is a transformation, that is the full name has been split into two columns, that is first name and the last name. So let me validate this transformation from the source with respect to target, whether that transformation has been done correctly. So for that, let me run this query. So in this query, what are we trying to do is I'm fetching the source customer ID and I'm applying the transformation on the source name column. That is, I'm just selecting some part of the string from the customer name. This is the name. So I'm selecting some part of the customer name. I'm telling please start from the first digit and then move up to the space. This string is taking the position where there is a space and one character before that. That's why we're giving -1. So one character before this, till here it will fetch. So it will fetch JANE up to space. And this will be taken as first name. And the next one, similarly here as well, what we are doing is, we are taking the position of the string to extract, that is from the space we are starting. And then I'm telling please move one letter ahead, means after the space I'll start taking the string one character after the space. I'm fetching all those and selecting it as last name. So before space, one character before, I'm selecting it for first name, and after space one character, I'm selecting it for last name. So I'm telling from source, it is aliased as yes. Then I'll have a left join with the target table, which is aliased as T, on some condition like source customer ID is equals to target customer ID. And this condition, like the transformation applied on the source column, it should be equal to the target column, the first name. And then source, after applying the transformation, it is a source target field that should be equal to target last name. So if it is not equal, then usually null records will be populated in the right table. So I'm telling please fetch me those results where there is mismatch and where there is null populated. So let me run this query. So if any mismatches are there, it is fetched in this process. Let me see if any mismatches occur between the transformed source column with respect to the target column. Yes, the query is complete. So it's telling yes, there is a mismatch with this customer ID. First 086, there is a mismatch in splitting the full name into first name and last name. So this we can just go and see manually as well. So I'll just go to that particular ID and fetch the results and see. So let me run this query. Check how is my data in this customer ID, because I got error that it is not split properly in this customer ID. So let me check. It's telling there is semantic error. So let me specify the database name. Yes, it is done. It is telling this is Frank O brain. So let me check how is it in the target table. So you could see in source it is, the full name is Frank O'Brien, but in the target it is split as Franklin Miller. Franklin as a first name and Miller as a last name. So there is a mismatch between Frank O'Brien and Franklin Miller. So it was displaying the data is not transformed correctly for this particular ID, and this can be reported as a error. So let us check the next transformation check. So next transformation check is, we have a age calculated in the target, and in source we have date of birth. So this date of birth is transformed to the age. So calculation is done with the current year and the date, and then age is been fetched or calculated from the date of birth column of the source. Let us validate this. So for this, we have this query. So it extracts the customer ID from staging customers details, and it calculates the age based on the date of birth column. So year current date minus year source date of birth. It finds the difference between the current year and the year of birth. So next, this minus year current date minus year of date of birth minus, I have put one case statement here. I'm telling because I have to get the exact calculation of the age with respect to month and the date as well. So I'm just giving month source date of birth. If it is greater than month current date, that means it checks if the month or date of birth date is greater than the current month. If it is greater than the current month, then that means the birthday is yet to come this year. So it returns 1. One more condition is there, which is month source date of birth is equals to month current date and day of date of birth is greater than day. That means person birthday has not yet happened according to the date as well. So according to the month, it will check first whether the birth month has been passed or it is yet to come, and then it checks with the birth day whether it has passed or it is yet to come. So if it is true, that means if the day is greater than the current date. For example, here I can tell that if the current date is 13th March and then the birthday would be 20th March. So in that case, the birthday has not yet come. So the date of birth is greater than the day of the current date. Then what happens is it returns 1. That means the birthday is yet to come. So what we'll do is we have taken some calculations of current date minus year date of birth. In that we'll just subtract 1 so that it becomes the exact age of that particular person. Or else if this condition is not true, then that means the birthday has already happened. So it will return 0. So nothing will be detected from this calculated age. So like this we'll end as age here, and from the table source, and we left join with the target table on the condition source customer ID is equals to target customer ID, and then here year current date minus year date of birth minus whatever we have taken in the case statement, that should be equal to target age. So when that is equal to target age, that means the calculation is done correctly. So if it is not done correctly, according to the left join, all the rows will be fetched from the left table and only matching rows will be fetched from the right and others will be denoted as null. So when you give where target customer ID is null, that means values which is not matched with the source will be given as null. So we'll just fetch those records which has mismatched with the source. So this where T customer ID is null, it filters only those customers where T customer ID, that is target customer ID, is null, which means calculated age does not match the stored target age, so causing the join condition to fail. So those entries will be the mismatch from source to target. So let us run this query so that if any mismatches are there, they are fetched in this process. So there are so many errors. That means the transformation has not happened correctly. They have some problem happened while transforming the or fetching the age from the date of birth of that particular employee. So there are 97 rows. That means we have only 3 rows which is transformed correctly in the target table. Other 97 rows out of 100 are not calculated properly, or they would have not concentrated this transformation for the age column. They would have missed out. So this all can be reported as a error. So that's it in this video. I hope you all understood the data reconciliation between the source and target in Hive. Thank you.